All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Spooky. I'm back in the house with Lord Tasty Steve, who's been traveling all up in Europe, checking out the various events and seeing what's going on, checking out, EU Cup and all that good stuff.
Yes, it was a nice little trip, man. Shout out to Germany for, being so hospitable while I was there. Had a little issue flying back, but it was nothing too big to worry about. But I'm trying to go back to Germany. But while I was gone, there's been a lot of movement in the world of fighting games. So Spooky, take us through it.
True that. So the first one we want to talk about, of course, is Fury Fury City of the Wolves. Unfortunately, Steve didn't get to play a lot, so it's going to be me talking a lot about my experience with the game and just Steve maybe interject a little bit and see some of what he saw and what he thinks about it. So I played the beta all 4 days.
Okay.
I played in 4 different events for the beta. Including the TNS tournament, I played in the Paragon tournament, I played in the Roman Assault exhibitions, and a few other things. So I got to check out various things. The system is real fun. The Rev Art system, which is basically EX moves, is very similar to KOF XV. So if you're familiar with Max Mode in that game, this is more or less the same thing, except you don't need a Max Mode. You can do EX moves to EX moves whenever you want until you put yourself in overheat. So that's the general change to the combo system and the general combo concept of how it all works, right? So there's also a new Red Blow mechanic, and this is kind of like a focus attack you could think of, or I guess like heat move you could think of like in the newer Tekken, that type of thing, something like that, right? So it's pretty nice mechanic. But it's real polarizing because it's very strong. You got characters like B. Jenny, whose Red Blow goes up in the sky, and when it counter hits you, it starts a whole combo.
Oh my god!
You got, who am I thinking of? Rock Howard's is basically red kick. So think of red kick, but it has armor on it, and it comes at you, bam, it just hits you across the head. It's hard to anti-air because it has armor on it. And when it counter hits you grounded, or sometimes when it counter hits you in the air even, it can start combos, which is real nasty and real scary. So it's not really my favorite mechanic, but most of the rest of the system itself is very fun. Now, one thing that I will say the most is that this game got a real old school command interpreter. And the way it handles inputs is real old school too. So you got things like if you try to walk and you do a quarter circle forward, there's a high chance you're gonna get an uppercut. And that's the thing that I think people are gonna. It's gonna take a while.
That is definitely some KOF style thing.
It's true. It is a thing that you see like SNK command interpreters, but it's also a thing that I think people are gonna have a lot of trouble getting used to at first, not trying to get accidental inputs. And the shortcuts are a little bit different from what you're used to in KOF. Also, you can't just do a half circle forward to always get a fireball. You got to kind of be real careful about how you do that. So that's the thing that I hope they adjust over time. The netcode has some problems right now, unfortunately. They are working on a second beta. So Oda has posted up, he says that beta 2 is coming very soon. In the first beta, it was a playable experience, but for one, the ping times are really unusual. So you'd be playing somebody that you know is not that far away, but the ping might report as like almost double what you're expecting, like a real high ping, some rollback, that type of thing.
I saw Justin Wong actually tweet about it a little bit in the same, where he was just saying he was having some issues like either getting matches and then sometimes the connections wasn't the best. So, I mean, it's been kind of echo, but it's also a really good thing to know that there's another demo coming down the line or another beta coming down the line before the game drops, where people get the opportunity to actually get hands on the game. So there is that, but I'm happy to hear this because once again, I only saw like snippets of it because I really didn't get to play. And just for let people know, I think I got like 45 minutes with this game. I got back home and I even text Nerd Josh. I was like, hey, when does the beta end? He's like, it ends in 45 minutes. So legit, that was all the time I got to play with the game. But I am still really excited about the game. I mean, Freeman is still not in the game, which I'm sad about.
There's only 2 characters unannounced right now. We don't know who they are specifically. There has been some leaks out there that have some information, but you can't really tell what's real and what's not because it's got a list of characters that if it's real, the list of characters is going far beyond the first season pass that already got announced with the Andy Bogard, the Joe Higashi, and all those guys in it. So Lord knows which those 2 characters even are because even if that leak is real, you can't really tell which 2 of them are the characters that are actually going to be the
So first off,
characters.
I don't know anything about the leaks. I typically try to stay away from them.
Same. That's why I'm just mentioning it because there's always someone that comes through and be like, yo, Spooky, we seen this leak and it got this and that in it. So Lord knows what's real from that And even if it's all real information,
Yeah.
Lord knows which of the characters are the 2 that are coming next.
Okay. Well, I mean, regardless, I'm still really excited for City of the Wolves. Can't wait. Hopefully, I'm around on the second beta so I can actually get some games in with it. I'm glad you actually entered a bunch of stuff. But Spooky's always known for that. Like, he'll enter tournaments, whether it be the Paragons, the TNSs. I like that about you, man. Like,
Thanks, bro.
I never really get the chance to do stuff like that, or else, I'm just off in La La Land or something like that. But also an opportunity for everybody else. So if you didn't get to check out the first beta for City of the Wolves,
second one, baby.
The second one's coming. The return is coming. But on to more fighting game news. We're doing a large batch of news so you guys know what's actually going on. Tekken 8 dropped finally. First and foremost, Tekken 8. First and foremost, we got our first new character of Season 2, which is the return of Anna Wiliams and Lovely Tom. Spooky, you already dropped the reaction video from this. And look, obviously you guys should go and watch the video. Even after this, you should. But give me a general of what your thoughts are on the new Anna Wiliams without putting hands on, obviously.
Got you. So Anna, Dave Clee designed her for a style that works with Season 2.
Okay.
If Anna had come out in Season 1 the way she works right now, in fact, she probably would have been a worse character. And one example is that they're allowing you to go into full crouch from a heat engager now by holding down. And that really lends itself to Anna Williams because her full crouch game has always been extremely strong. You got the full crouch down forward swipe. It's a launcher. She got a new while standing 1-2 that looks really good. It's probably around 13 frames, something like that. And so because of that, her full crouch game has been kind of strengthened. They even gave her Nina's down back 1+2, the 11 frame move, and it looks to be guaranteed for while standing 3 counter hit. So now you got multiple mixes of while standing 3. You can while standing 3, go into Chaos Judgment. You can while standing 3. Oh, look, I counter hit you down back 1+2 heat engager. Now I can mix you up some more.
Oh my God.
So she's got a lot going on in that regard. Now she also has a brand new mechanic that has not been completely revealed yet by Bandai Namco. She's got some type of debuff that she can do.
Oh yeah, I saw that in the video. It's like a little purple thing. We don't know what it is though.
We don't really know what it does yet. All we know is that when she uses certain of the Lovely Tom attacks, it puts you into a debuff state. And that debuff could really do anything. Maybe it makes some of her moves gain armor that it didn't before. Maybe it's like a poison. Maybe she can get like a guaranteed counter hit or something like that. It's something that we're still trying to figure it out. And they're staying mum about it. They're being quiet. They know they made something new and interesting, so they're letting us all, try to figure out what it's gonna be.
I like that. I mean, look, first off, I'm a fan of Anna. Look, I still think Nina is the superior sister. Sorry, Spooky. But I think the new design for Anna looks sick. I like that, they're adding these new mechanics. I know a lot of people are like, hey man, she's got the bazooka now, and I think that's sick because now she's got the bazooka cancel, and I don't know what that ground move was. She hit the oosh, oosh, oosh. Oh, yeah, I was all about that,
she
bro.
She has a lot of cool looking moves. I'm with that. If I had to guess, it's gonna be like Nina, where the guns get better in heat mode. I'm assuming it's something like that. They also snuck a new Nina move in that trailer.
I did see that.
It looks like a down forward 4-2, something like that. It's a knee into a gunshot. So they're obviously hinting that characters are going to get new moves and new changes across the board.
If you saw the first teaser trailer for Season 2, they definitely let you know that there were going to be big changes coming. Just one of the things that I picked up on from the one they showed as a TWT final was King gets a new string. But this is all leading into Season 2, which has been largely awaited. And there's been so many changes with Season 2 from the jump. Look, first and foremost, no more Power Crush heat engagers is one of the biggest things out there.
That's the thing that everybody asked for. Nobody liked the Power Crush heat engagers. Even me, I was playing Victor in the first season before his high heat engager got nerfed. And it was kind of a silly move, you know what I mean? I would just throw it out because I was panicking and, oh, look, I got you, haha, right? So, I'm glad that they changed that one. They're going to be replaced by new heat engagers for most of the characters.
Yeah, so let's just say that, 442 with Jin is, the heat engager or whatever the case, right? Now, it will no longer be a heat engager, and you will get a new move to replace said heat engager. And this is going across the board, right? So this is obviously one of the biggest changes out there. And like you said, a bunch of people really wanted this. Then on top of this, which is one of the things me and Spooky was talking about, plus 17 on heat engagers. That's that's crazy. I mean, obviously, I guess they want people to go more ham with the heat. That's literally the only thing. But also in heat, apparently there's less chip. I could be wrong on that, but I think there's less chip that goes across the board now in heat. So as opposed to I think it was 20 or something now, they went down to 9 or 19 or something like that, which is very significant.
we'll see what happens in the end with that one. So talking about heat, they did add something new. So on top of the heat engagers being more plus now, you can now go into full crouch from a heat engager. And you can see it a lot in the Anna trailer if you pay close attention on some of her engagers. But in general, this is going to be an overall change. So any character that's got a nice little full crouch moveset that you couldn't utilize very well in the heat, well, now when you get your engager, you can do a true mix-up in that it can be a move from crouch or it can be a move from standing based on what you feel like doing.
You know, that's really interesting. I was actually just talking about the whole 50-50 guess in Tekken with Spag and Bubsy and K-Wiz when I was over in Germany. And we were talking about how in Tekken, there wasn't many times where you got forced to make a 50-50 decision. Outside of Season 2 of Tekken 7 when they put the wall kind of stagger thing in there, which is really one of the times that really forced you to make a 50-50. This is actually going to take it to the next level. Being able to go into crouch doing heat engager, like you said before, it kind of makes other characters look even stronger. I think Anna, it really benefits her, but also even more so, characters like Yoshimitsu who have unblockable lows.
Bro, what are they going to do with that move? Everybody's worried because Yoshimitsu has one of the best full crouch lows in the whole game. It's semi-tracking. It's kind of hard to snuff even if you try to use like a hop kick or something like that because it has a very good hitbox. And now he can just do it from a heat engager mix-up. So you may or may not be dealing with basically heat engager unblockables. I guess we got to be ready for those.
I mean, but also, like, what if they slow it down? And they've already kind of tweaked the system in, like, Tekken 8 to make it to where, like, clean hits and hell sweeps and where you get your combo starters, they're a little different now. Clean sweeps, clean hits make a lot of difference. And a lot of times now you don't really get combos off of them. So going into full crouch from heat engager and just to the overall system and how it's going to affect what happens down the line is going to be very interesting heading into Season 2. And I really can't wait to get into it. But even more so, there's more changes.
True.
You can now sidestep to the foreground from crouch.
And this is a huge change. In fact, I noticed a lot of people are really doom and glooming about this change with their own characters. I see a lot of Oscar players saying things about, well, great, my low mixers are not going to be as good anymore because now they can just sidestep the other way and they can get out of it, right? And I'm glad you're making that face because I noticed that all the Oscar players forgot that they have a move called Sidestep 2. It's like super good, and being able to do Sidestep 2 both ways from crouch is probably very powerful, so it's funny that they forgot about that. But at the same time, I can understand the mindset of, well, great, someone who's very smart defensively is going to have more ways to get out of my tricks and more ways to get out of my mix-up.
I mean, look, the first thing I thought about when I thought about sidestepping into the foreground was Virtua Fighter. They've always, as a 3D game, has always showed its comparisons to Virtua Fighter. This is one of the things that kind of, for me, and look, I know people are being all kind of iffy about it, but for me, I think it opens up the offensive and the defensive options because instead of being limited to sidestepping one way, you get the opportunity to sidestep into the foreground. And pending your input and what your character has available, that can open up a whole new game of possibilities. And actually, I know a lot of people are talking about this on Twitter, but like, it expands a lot of what happens in the game. And obviously, a lot of the people, the legacy players out there, I know they're going to be like, well, what about, like, this is part of the change, man. Tekken 8 is a new game. They're going in a new direction with it. But honestly, I think this is a good, as somebody who likes Virtua Fighter and being able to move around like that, people talked about the movement being a thing at Tekken 8. They're giving you more movement options, not only in the sense of offense, but in the side of defense too. But that's something that's probably one of the biggest changes that we've seen in Tekken for years. Like, and I mean that. I think it's honestly one of the biggest Tekken system changes we've seen since like Tekken 4 or something like that. So I'm really interested to see what else is going to come from this, as well as the fact coming in this new season pass, which I think we forgot about, is a brand new Tekken character that is limited only to Tekken. It's not a guest character. It's a brand new Tekken character that's also included in it. So with all these changes going into it, maybe that new character might have something to do with it as well. Maybe it might something that, you know, this crouching into the foreground and going into heat engagers and the whole nine really is something that's going to blow out the system in a sense that makes this new character shine. But they're showing a lot of hints and stuff. Like Spooky said, they haven't revealed it all, but there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline when it comes to Season 2. But also the system changes that are already in the game that people have been complaining about, talking about with their characters, whether it be QCF4 with, you know, Dragunov,
definitely they show a little
the down two, like there's a lot of system changes coming down the line.
Yeah, word. So one other thing that they added, and I'm not really sure how people are going to feel about this one, is they added Ghost versus Ghost battle mode. Now, Steve, have you been using the Ghost system at all since the first week of Tekken?
Since the first week, probably not. I'm going to be real.
Okay, me neither.
I
haven't really used it, right?
But this is a lot more interesting. They have done like a lot, and I'm going to be real. I'm 100% going to look at this because now they're doing a thing where you can make it kind of Pokemon style. You can make your ghost more aggressive. You can make your ghost more defensive. Like those kinds of things are really interesting to me because I'm one of those people that I literally... Look, I'm an arcade baby, bro. I used to go and just watch the computer fight each other. And in old games like Guilty Gear, which I'm sure I've said this to somebody out there before, is that like you used to be able to put the difficulty on the highest and watch the computer go at it, right? In the confines of the system itself.
They still do that in Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6, if you fight against a level 8 CPU, it does some real bread and butters and some real combos. You can learn a little bit from them, like, okay, oh, that's a good combo. Let me try that. So.
That's some of my implication from this. And on top of that, think about it like this. You can have like, I don't know how far this goes, but a ghost battle tournament where literally it's not 100% hands-on, but like, let's just say it's me versus Spooky, and I'm like, damn, Spooky's being mad defensive. I'm going to go more offensive with my ghost. I want to see how this works in all honesty. We don't know all of, the little mechanics of it, but something like that is very, very interesting. And look, obviously it might not be for me and Spooky, you know what I'm saying? But for the casual players out there, I feel like this is another way for people to kind of get a hold of their character, what their character is capable of, as well as what some of the higher level like competition is going to look like coming down the line. But in all, I mean, I'm really interested and I'm excited for season 2. Like, I'm really excited for season 2. I want to see how this overall system change is going to affect the overall like scheme of Tekken 8. I know a lot of people have been asking for a big system overhaul, and I feel like they're really getting it in season 2.
The game. I mean, one thing that I'm noticing with Bandai Namco and this game, all right, is whether you like it or not at home, okay, the changes they're making are changes that they want to make. Yeah. People have been saying things like, hey, you got to nerf heat more. We don't like heat, da-da-da-da. These guys made heat plus 17, you know what I mean, or from plus 9 or whatever it was. So that's telling you that they, as a company, they want you to use the heat system. Yeah. They want you to get aggressive. They want you to get in the other guy's face and just scrap up with them. And that's the thing that, if we want to keep playing Tekken 8, if we enjoy what Tekken is about overall in general, then, you got to be ready for that new system.
Well, I welcome the changes. I'm going to be real. I'm always down to, like, learn something new, especially when games I've been playing. But it's not yet out just yet. I think the change comes out, the big season 2, it starts in April. It
starts in April. That sounds about right. Now, talking about that, Steam recently made a big change on the entire website. And the change involves what you can announce with your downloadable content, basically. There was a time where you could just say, hey, we're going to have some DLC for our game. And you didn't really have to tell anybody in advance what was going on. You would just make some DLC. And, we didn't really have a problem with this with any of the big fighting game developers. Everybody held down their end of the bargain and said, okay, this is what you're paying for and this is what you're getting. But there were a lot of developers that were making like vaporware DLC.
Yeah,
and everybody would buy it and then they'd have to refund, or maybe they couldn't refund because it was a DLC and they couldn't get their money back even though stuff never really came out. So now all the major developers, honestly all developers, period on Steam, but all the major developers have to tell Steam everything that's going to be in their DLC in advance before they even try to sell it to people. As a side effect of that, naturally, the Tekken team has already pre-planned the entire upcoming year of DLC. Mm-hmm. And we see that Michael Murray had a big tweet about this.
Yeah.
And he basically said, do you want to know, since we've already done it, we had to do this because of Steam, do you want to know who the characters are in the whole season and the 2 stages ahead of time with some type of concept sketch? Or do you like waiting for the major reveals?
So, look, Spooky, you go first.
Well,
you tell me what you like. And then I'm going to say my piece too, but I want Spooky to go first.
So I'll tell you my thoughts on this, okay? Now, I love Tekken. Don't hate me, guys, for real, for giving my real feedback, for real, guys.
Right? No,
I love Tekken, all right? But they're charging $30 or $40 for only 4 characters this season. That's crazy, all right? And at that point, I don't even know. A good thing they put Anna as the first character, but out of the other 3 characters, I don't even know if they're going to be a character that I necessarily want to play. Maybe I just want to fight against that character. Maybe I don't want to play them. Okay. So from my standpoint, it'd be nice to know what I'm paying my $30 or my $40 for in the first place. You know what I mean? I want to know if there's a character 6 months from now coming that I'm going to want to play.
Yeah,
or if I should just buy Anna Wiliams and pay $10 and be done with it and not have to pay the rest of the money.
Look, that's 100% fair. I completely agree with that. And look, I even interacted with this tweet, right? You can go check the tweet. I made my thing. Personally, look, I'm a big fan of the big tournament reveals, right?
True.
And I know a lot of people are like, oh, Steve, consumer this, consumer that. Look, regardless of how I get this, I already told you this. I buy copies of the game from my homies because I want them to play the game, and as well as for support as well. I mean, obviously I play in these games no matter what, but I also want people to engage. Now I completely understand like you being like, well, hey, look, what if I don't have a character in there that's like for me, and then I'm buying the whole season pass? So I'm happy that at least you get to buy them separately and you're not 100% locked in. But personally, I'm a supporter no matter what. I'm always going to be like, hey, give me the surprise factor of it all. Granted, you can give me a system and be like, hey, look at what these characters can do, and I'll still be excited. Will I be as excited? Probably not, because it's just a system thing and we're learning characters. But honestly, I completely understand both sides of the argument. On
it's
my
a very
side,
polarizing argument.
It's very polarizing.
Everybody's going back and forth, and some guys like, no, you crazy. You got to wait for the reveals. And other guys are like, bro, I'm spending a lot of money on this. You better tell me what I'm getting before I spend my money. So it's a very big and a very polarizing. And like I said, part of the reason this argument is even coming about is because of the big Steam changes in the first place, right? So this is a new era that we're entering, and everybody's, even I'm still a little bit confused about what the right thing to do with this type of thing.
Well, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, you could surprise me. I don't look.
You don't want to know.
I tell people all the time, and look, a lot of people don't know this, but I literally tell every company, whether it be Capcom or Bandai Namco or whoever, you know what I tell them? Don't tell me who's coming no matter what. Let me go into this full-blown surprise, because I want to take that in with the rest of the people. But once again, like you said before, it's pretty polarizing because people want to know what they're spending their money on.
People really want to know what they're spending on. You're not wrong.
And two, like you said before, right? Like, obviously you can wait and buy them down the line. You can buy the characters separately, which is also still a very good thing. But I also understand wanting to know what's coming in that season pass. But look, whichever one you do go with and which you prefer, hopefully you understand that you shouldn't knock anybody else for whatever else they want to do. Because personally, look, I'm going to buy the season pass no matter what. No matter what, I'm buying the season pass because, one, I want to know what's coming down the line, and two, I might like one of those characters even though I might not visibly like one of the characters. But once again, let us know what you guys think. I love having these kind of discussions, especially on YouTube. It's my new thing. I want to know what you guys think in the comments. Would you like it to be revealed, or would you like to know at a big tournament, a big reveal where everybody else finds out? And obviously this is outside of the Steam change issue about it all. But once again, big news, big changes coming down the pipeline for Tekken 8, whether it be systems, characters, how they do DLC, as well as Ghost Mode.
Big update from them. So thank you to the team for the Tekken talk. So last but not least, guys, the Capcom Pro Tour Finals is starting up March 5th. So it's a few days from now, fellas. I know everybody's going to be enjoying Monster Hunter this week, myself included, Steve included. But, watch out for that one. It starts during the week with the pools. There's a lot of your favorite players up in here in this one. I'm especially happy for Idom and Punk the God, Knuckle-Doo, Nephew, and some of my personal faves. But you're going to see a little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be covering the show at Tenno Media. So I believe it's going to be on my channel, the T-Spooky channel. It might be on a bunch of other channels at the same time too. But the idea is that we're going to get together a lot of the people that are not officially hired by Capcom to go be a part of the event. And they're going to come through to our studio over here, the Tenno Media studio, and they're going to hold it down with us.
Yeah, it's actually going to be a really good time, man. We've done kind of the homebrew. We've done it for Evo Japan.
Yes.
We've done it for kind of our own events. But this is going to be a really big thing, man. We got a lot of the homies coming through. We're going to have our own little broadcast. So look, by all means, tune in. I'm going to try to restream it on my channel too. So the Taste Buds out there, the Spooky Nights. What do you call your people again? Do you
just call them the Skulls, bro.
Shout out to the Skulls,
shout out to the Skull
the
Monsters,
Taste
the Skull
Buds,
Warriors, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for holding
so
it down.
Pull up, tune in, check it out. But Capcom Cup is going to be ridiculous. I don't know if you guys saw the finals for the SFL.
It was pretty
SFL
fun.
was crazy. Shout outs to everybody that was involved. Also, shout outs to the boy Punk for a crazy pop off, confirming what everybody.
He said, "Don't ever come to my stream. Don't come to my stream without bowing before me. I'm Punk the God."
Yo, shout outs to the boy Punk, but also shout outs to the DR. But even more so, Street Fighter 6 is setting up to have some of the craziest storylines, bro. I mean, if you look at Group C, Jobby M versus Tokido, the run back from Red Bull Kumite is happening.
Hey man, Job Him is always one of the biggest sleepers in these tournaments, man. People be like, yo, who's Job Him? And then their favorite player be losing to him, and they're like, oh, now I know who that guy is. I didn't know they had players like that in Africa.
Noah the Prodigy, Noah the P, I like to call him. The brothers JB teaming up with his brother. I mean, I guess not really like teaming up, but you know.
Hey, they both there. Good for them.
Both
Their
of them
training
make
works.
it. Dual Kevin being one of the hardest working men in Street Fighter, if you ask me. He's traveled, I feel like, more than anybody when it comes to Street Fighter. Tokido still in that bad boy. Idom coming back to potentially earn one. Mina RD, Chris CCH. I know a lot of people are talking about Group G with Killju, Zhao Hai, Kaba. Oh, the Kaba, Nokudu, Guile showdown. We actually get it. Jonio Ross in Group H, Angry Bird with Lex, the brother we was talking about. Yep. Kusanagi's gonna be in there. The storylines are like feeding themselves.
I mean, everybody here is really good. I know Kusanagi for years and years and years since the Multi-Blood era. He got top 8 at Multi-Blood that one time, and he was really good. I played him in a money match, and you know, and since then we know each other. And every time we see each other, we talk for a bit. But that guy for real is, you know, I'm glad that he's showing the rest of the world. But you know, when we played that money match, I did beat him, but I was thinking, man, this dude is super good. Little did I know that he will become eventually one of the best players in the world for, you know, $1 million tournament.
I like the way you did. That was, you see how tactful, you see how tactful. He talked about how he won, but still gave my man props.
No, because
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Keep in mind,
in that money match room that's like old Multi-Blood legend. That money match room, I played 40 money matches. I only lost one.
Yo, don't rub it in.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that was the
time. The glass of shine ting. But anyways, look, we're getting a little carried away. But props to everybody out there, everybody that actually qualified for Capcom Cup. Shout outs to the talent as well. Yipe Sherry, the boy Jammers, Vicious, Ranger and 2, man. Y'all already know what it is. Everybody out there, Ryan Hart, Hameko was in there, Aru. And there's so many great talented people that's working on it as well. But make sure you guys tune in, especially for the homebrew stream, because it's going to be amazing.
They're working real hard. Right now, while we're here chilling, they're downstairs working on the studio and dressing it up to look super nice, guys. So hopefully you'll enjoy the show.
Well, look, guys, we gave you guys a lot to chew on and think about, man. We talked about City of the Wolves, the second beta. We talked about Tekken 8 second season. We talked about Capcom Cup. We talked about trailers. We talked about it all. But make sure you go down to the comments. Let us know how you guys feel about these topics, as well as other things
and it's good
that
to
you
have
guys
Steve
would like
back
to
for a little
cover.
bit, guys. We don't get to do these all the time, so you got to enjoy it while it lasts, because otherwise we got to spend time doing other shit to keep the coffers filled. It ain't easy out here,
and
so
also,
hope you guys like them.
Also, make sure you go check out Spooky's reaction videos to the Anna Wiliams trailer as well. He's got a lot of insight, especially because this guy's an Anna enthusiast. With that being said, make sure you guys stay tuned, and by tuned, I mean subscribe. Show some love, like, comment, subscribe, and then of course, we will see you guys on the next video. Have a great weekend. Tune in to Homebrew, and we'll see you guys there. Peace.